delete information which is in the public domain. Now, you might wonder, why would a government agency spend so much time, in this case 5 years, trying to essentially pull information out of a book, of 2 books, that is in the public domain? And there's really no clear answer that you can get. I believe, personally, it goes back to, as you mentioned in the introduction, my testimony on Capitol Hill relating to the 9/11 information we had regarding here. Others believe that maybe a continued retaliation by the government against me simply because they don't like the fact I continue to speak up.
Well, I think it's both, but what gives them the right to say that you can't put a clip out of a New York Times article in your book? For those that don't know, you might explain that to them, that they're restricting things that are public. It's kind of like when Gibbs was told, say there's no drone program, when for a decade it was public. It's like saying there is no sun coming up in the morning. I mean, maybe you're not allowed to say that Army uniforms are green next.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, we had a partial victory by the fact that the Judge Collier, ruled flat out that the government cannot take information which I have testified to was in the public record and say that they cannot use that. That is, for example, one of the things that they actually tried to censor me on, which is totally ludicrous when you think about it, is my open testimony to Congress, which is part of the congressional record. The government, this administration attempted to say that information in the public record and in the congressional record could not be used by me in my book. That's how insane this got. And clearly they completely lost on that. We continue to contend, and the other issues, the judge ruled with the government. As you mentioned, Alex, it's in the public domain. The information relating to my work in Afghanistan, the contents of the Bronze Star, all these things which they're now arguing should be classified, to me, are totally insane by the fact it's been in the public domain for almost 10 years. And it is almost an Orwellian attempt by the government, almost because they can do it. They're going back now, attempting to rewrite history. And to me, it absolutely makes no sense. It wastes the taxpayer money. And in this case, because we did actually win on the account of the fact that they tried to keep out the clear testimony, they've lost that piece, and they're going to have to pay the court fees from my lawyer as well. So this is where, their continued obstinance about things that are clearly in the interest of the public to know, and them fighting it, it really makes it look...
sure. Well, it's also getting worse. I mean, I see the headlines every day where now the White House just said 2 weeks ago, no more 4-year period. We're not going to respond, period. I mean, that's totally arrogant. It's totally illegal. But it's like opening the borders up. Now, I've got to shift gears because you're such an expert on Al-Qaeda, on ISIS, which obviously is the same Wahhabist group. What do you make of the FBI saying at least 49 states do have ISIS in them? This attack in Garland that it would have been in, like, Chicago or something. My God, it would have taken the police hours to respond, or imagine London. What do you make of that and the recruiting power of these groups in the West? Because, as you know, a lot of the recruits are being pulled out of the West.
Right. Well, 2 things. First, ISIS, unlike any other group within the modern era of our anti-terrorism effort, have adopted a very effective strategy of using social media. They're very slick. They have actually paid a lot of money to bring Hollywood types in and make some very slick videos. And this goes to my second point. They've been able to focus on a group, a specific group, that is essentially vulnerable to their message. And there's a lot of folks out there. And it doesn't matter if they're rich or poor. I found it totally laughable when all these people just don't have jobs. It's totally insane. This is all about a very severe form of extreme racism, where they believe that they are the superior race, that they have the right to basically dominate everybody else, and if you don't choose to be dominated, you can die.
That's right. I mean, isn't this the modus operandi from all over the world? It's a lot of times it's even upper middle class, spoiled brat kind of gangbanger types who want to be somebody and want to go be in an adventure and want to go rape and rob and do whatever they want. I mean, isn't this just a legion of scum?
Exactly, and they've been able to hit that nerve, and so they're able to bring these people in, and many of them, and I think in the case you saw in Texas, and I think you're going to see more of this. And by the way, a shout out to James Comey. James Comey, I do believe, is trying to do the best he can in very difficult circumstances by the fact he recognizes all these people. But we've got to do more, and essentially they're going to continue to come until we just stop them where they started in Iraq and Syria.
Stay there. I want to come back and finish up with that and then get into the larger ISIL invasion The Islamic State has taken credit for this attack with their moron converts over here to radical Islam. We'll be back. I'm Alex Jones with Colonel Schaefer. Stay with us.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you can consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com.
It's time to build your own emergency food stockpile with the industry leader, My Patriot Supply. Once you try them, you'll know why so many Americans like you have made them part of their emergency preparedness plan. Experience the My Patriot Supply difference today with this unbelievable offer. Right now, a 4-week food supply is only $99, and that includes free shipping. That's 50% off the online price. Call 800-274-3070 to claim yours. Limit 2 per caller while supplies last. This offer isn't available online, so you want to make sure and grab this opportunity to get prepared today. 800-274-3070 to get your 4-week food supply for the incredible price of only $99, and it'll be shipped to you completely free. Call 800-274-3070 right now. That's 800-274-3070 to claim yours while supplies last. Don't wait. Call today.
I want more candy. I want more video games. Line.
And it's that type of behavior that spurred me to do the research to develop a true nutraceutical formula that was designed to smooth out and help children focus. All of our children are hit with modern mind control. Television, music, fast food, GMOs, sugars, you name it. Young humans have not yet developed their nervous system and are being hammered daily by globalist concoctions. It's no wonder they can't focus and calm down and then are put on dangerous psychotropic drugs. Working with my team, we set out to find the best formula with the highest quality ingredients that children would actually like and take. We worked with the leading manufacturer and nutritional supplements that are safe for children to bring you the most affordable and powerful calming formula out there. Introducing Child Ease with herbs and calming extracts like chamomile and lemon balm and essential nutrients that taste great. Obtain your Child Ease today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's Child Ease exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. We are back live. Final segment with our guests. I'm going to come back and hit economic news and more. Then we have some special reports we're going to air as well. I'm Alex Jones. We're talking to best-selling author, American soldier, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer, who was blocked twice from taking out bin Laden, confirmed right before 9/11. Very interesting, because I guess you need that enemy. A lot of folks know that I wrote the book on, and now it's even in the New York Times, on exposing false flag terror, letting groups attack you, wind-up toys, things like that. That said, Islamic State before they were even Islamic State, when they were the Syrian, Free Syrian Army, I was exposing it, tip of the spear, getting the military to talk about it, to say we won't be in al-Qaeda's Air Force. Ron Paul picked it up, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. Colonel Schaefer was at the tip of the spear in Congress saying don't do this. We were all there exposing it. We started getting real threats, and I'm not supposed to get into it because law enforcement got involved and stuff, but real stuff with ISIS. And you've now seen them, up there attack the event with their wind-up toys up there in Garland. I recognize this as different, and I see a lot of liberals, a lot of trendies. May Day March this weekend I shot video at, had folks kind of dressed up like that. A lot of Islamic State things at public events. So it's kind of a trendy thing with young people is the point I'm getting at. That's why I say I believe it's a real threat. What do you say, Colonel Schaefer?
Oh, it is. No, I think these people have struck a nerve. And some of these young people actually suffer from what you talk about. It's kind of a society that's very artificial. It's hard to fit. And what's happened is instead of people seeking the truth and seeking to become better people, what they do is they see an opportunity to belong to something. And as you mentioned right before the last break, they see this as an adventure. I mean, many of these kids, I actually work with a group called the Association of British Muslims in London, who are attempting to stop the radicalization. It's interesting because many of the Muslims who are the British Empire, from essentially the old empire states of Pakistan and India, see this as a threat. Many of them have assimilated to the British society, and they don't like this very extreme brand of Islamic hate. And it actually damages the brand, which President Obama doesn't seem to understand. This is Islamic terror. So happening right now, as you point out, is that these people, these bots, essentially, are being recruited. And it happened in Australia last year where a bunch of these folks who were recruited were essentially told to do jihad in place. Don't come to Syria. Do what you can to disrupt the society you're in. So I think that's where this is all going. This is why James Comey, the director of the FBI, said that in every state except Alaska, you have elements of ISIS now essentially coalescing and beginning to form. And simply put, the FBI is not big enough to counter every single threat. No matter how successful they are, Alex, eventually one's going to get through the net. I think last night we saw one get through the net because apparently, as we're known to the FBI, said Texas being what it is, I think responded very quickly and very aptly to the threat. Fortunately, I don't think we're going to see all of our states be able to pick up that tradition.
Well, and exactly, I criticize the FBI for when they get caught manufacturing plots or basically setting people up that are already radicalized. But that's higher-level Justice Department stuff. Usually, just like 9/11, you had FBI at the grassroots trying to stop hijackers, ordered to stand down. In this case, it's the same thing again, where they had them in custody, know they were going to North Africa, and the judge basically released them, even though they got caught lying about it. So I think it's that the grassroots FBI gets their hands tied in real cases.
Right, that's correct. I've worked with a number of FBI agents, and yes, I have friends who are very close to the headquarters, and they're often saying the headquarters is the problem. Obviously, Alex, it's the politics. Once you get past the field agents, it's the politics of up the chain of command, and I think that's where everything gets really off the rails is here in Washington, D.C.
What do you think Washington's main strategy is? Because we know they were funding the whole anti-Syria deal. Now they claim they're fighting ISIS. You're up there in a lot of classified stuff you can't get into. Is this a real war against ISIS, or what's happening?
Let's go back, and you predicted this, and we've talked about this a couple of years ago. Look, the United States had a huge role in helping ISIS get off the ground. It was the arms that left Benghazi were shipped to the Turks. The Turks gave them to these so-called moderate extremists, who then sprouted out, instead of going after the Assad they're supposed to do, they figured out, hey, it's easier to go after ungoverned space in Syria and Iraq, and off they went. So we had a huge hand in this. I'm not sure how we're going to atone for that. With that said, right now, it's way out of control. They've been able to establish funding, global funding. Anywhere Al-Qaeda was, ISIS will be or is soon going to overcome Al-Qaeda. So this is the problem, Alex. They have been able, through their strategy, to basically terror organization in about 18 months. And it's simply put, we are not in the game. Washington does not have a strategy to defeat them either at the local level, at the national level, or at the strategic level. Right now, it's all bets are off.
I don't think they want a strategy because they're letting them be Saudi Arabia's proxy army to take over. Wink, wink. What do you say to that?
I think that's part of the problem right now is you have people in the Middle East on both sides. That includes the Saudis. So it is a problem.
All right, LondonCenter.org. Get his books. Colonel Shaver, thanks for your courage and patriotism and your service.
Thanks for having me.
God bless you. We'll be back. Stay with us.